Hello? Eating or drinking. And this event is going to be live streamed. So if you don't want to be part of the live stream, you will have to just sit in front of the tech area over here. The cafe is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and we'll be serving a variety of local sustainable food. I highly recommend that you check it out. We have a couple wonderful chefs on staff for the couple weeks that we're here. And last but not least, we just want to thank Scott and Loretta Garman, who are allowing us to be in this space for the 2 weeks. And want to thank all of you for coming. And I'll pass it over to Lindsay. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone who's joining. We think that we have a little bit of a smaller crowd than we thought in person, I think, because of the traffic here in Glasgow. So good morning and welcome to all of you who are here this morning in person and to all of those who are joining online to this first official day of COP26. My name is Lindsay Jacks, and I am an epidemiologist researching the co-benefits of reducing pesticide exposure on human health. And it's just really an honor to be here to talk about some lessons from India on scaling up natural farming globally. There's never been a more pivotal moment to talk about the way that we produce food. Agriculture is a leading contributor to climate change, and our changing climate is impacting our agricultural systems and thus also our food security. But there is hope, there are solutions, and I'm really excited that we'll be talking about one of those today, agroecology. I want to start out by thanking Nourish Scotland in particular for the opportunity to have this session today, and Clornda Brown from the University of Edinburgh for her support and careful attention to detail that made this morning's event possible. I also want to thank the RYSS team in India for their help remotely connecting with farmers in the field and with help with translation. And Divya Velaguri, a PhD student from University of Edinburgh, for her help here in person with the Q&A. And finally, thank you to all of our speakers for sharing their experiences from India and the UK. Our objective for this session is to learn from the experiences of people who are actually practicing natural farming in India, as well as those who are leading efforts to take natural farming to scale, up to 6 million farmers in the state in South India known as Andhra Pradesh, which has a population about the size of the UK. We have an inspiring lineup today, so without further ado, let's go ahead and begin with a brief video made by the RYSS team who are leading implementation of the Andhra Pradesh Community Managed Natural Farming Program.
సీజన్ బట్టి మనకు ఏవైనా పంటలు సీజన్ బట్టి పండించుకుంటాం. ఏ సీజన్కి ఏ పంట వస్తుందని అది మనకు తెలుస్తుంది కాబట్టి ఆ పంట వేసుకొని మనం పండించుకుంటాం. మేము మా అమ్మవారి ఇంట్లో అయితే చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి మా అమ్మ వాళ్ళు రైతులు కాబట్టి చదువుకుంటూ మేము వ్యవసాయం పనులు నేర్చుకునే వాళ్ళం మా అమ్మ వాళ్ళతో పాటు వెళ్ళి. నా పేరు అంటిపర్తి సత్యావతి, మాది కొండదొర. మేము వరి పండిస్తాము, అలాగే రాగులు, సామలు, జొన్నలు, కందులు, మినుములు పండిస్తాము. ఫస్ట్లో అయితే మా అమ్మ నాన్నలు తర్వాత ఇలాంటి కొత్త పద్ధతులు అప్పుడు ఏమి ఉండేవి కాదు. పూర్వ పద్ధతిలోనే వాళ్ళు పండించేవారు. ఆ ప్రకారమే ఫస్ట్ పండించాము. అంటే అంతకు ముందు మా కుటుంబము యూరియా డేపిలతో పండించేవారు వరి పంట. కెమికల్స్ అంటే వాటిలో వేస్తే ఎదుగుతుంది కానీ బలం ఉండదు దాంట్లో. మనము ఏది విత్తినా సరే మనకు అది మొలకత అంటూ వస్తుంది కానీ ఆదాయం అనేది తగ్గిపోతుంది. అంటే భూమి అదే చెడిపోయినట్టుగా మాకు అనిపిస్తుంది.
Chemical agriculture, even though in the initial years, the farmers found that the higher yields was able to offset the costs. Over the years, they found that they had to increase the dosage of fertilizers and they had to invest in pesticides. So they were mounting costs of cultivation for the farmer, and the food produced was compromised in quality and also in safety. The chemical agriculture was a disaster for the farmers, for the consumers, for the farm workers, and the biggest disaster for the environment and for our future generation. Mother Nature has a perfect solution.
పెళ్ళైన తర్వాత ఈ ఊర్లో పెళ్లి చేసుకొని వచ్చినప్పటి నుంచి కొన్ని పద్ధతులు అంటే కొన్ని సంస్థల ద్వారా కొన్ని కొత్త పద్ధతులు నేర్పించడం జరిగింది. అదే ఈ పద్ధతి ఒకటి ZBNF, ఇది ప్రకృతి వ్యవసాయం గురించి తెలుసుకొని ఆ ప్రకారము వ్యవసాయం చేస్తున్నాం. ఇది అయితే ప్రకృతి వ్యవసాయంలో అయితే మనం సొంతంగా మన ప్రకృతిలో దొరికే అనేక రకాలైన అదే మందులతో మనం దాన్ని తయారు చేస్తాం. కషాయాలు కానీ అనేక రకాలైన చేదు ఆకులతో అది కషాయాలు తయారు చేసి పిచికారీ చేయడం ద్వారా మేము చాలా వరకు మందులు కొనుక్కోకుండా స్వతసిద్ధంగా దాన్ని మనము తయారు చేసుకొని పిచికారీ చేస్తే దాన్ని పంటని మనం రక్షించుకోవచ్చు. ఫస్ట్ ప్రకృతి వ్యవసాయం చేయడము మా ఇంట్లో వాళ్ళే. భూమి సారవంతమైందనేసి మనం ముందు దానికి ఇప్పుడు మనం పండించే దానికి డిఫరెంట్ తెలుస్తుంది కదండి.
In the fight against climate change, we want to use all the tools that we have in the toolbox, and soils provide us an excellent opportunity. A rich soil, a fertile soil. Why is it fertile? Because it has uptaken a lot of carbon. And so we are storing carbon in rich soils, retaining that in the soils, which is good for climate, obviously, carbon sequestration. But it is, and here's the amazing part, it is also good for productivity, agricultural productivity. We're seeing yields that grow from about 20 to 200% increase. Now that's phenomenal because we are living in a world that is inching towards 10 billion. So then, if we can find a way to increase yields, that is amazing.
ఇట్లా మాట్లాడడం వల్ల మరి మేము చేసేది వాళ్ళు చూసారు, అలాగా నేర్చేది అవును ఇలా చేస్తే మంచిదని వాళ్ళు కూడా తెలుసుకొని చేయడం ప్రయత్నించారు. ప్రకృతి వ్యవసాయం చేయడానికి ఎంత శ్రమనైనా దాన్ని మనము శ్రమించి కష్టపడి చేస్తేనే మనకు ఫలితం అనేది ఉంటుంది. మనం నేర్చుకున్నది ఇతరులు కూడా చెప్పాలి, వాళ్ళు కూడా నేర్పించాలి. మనం పొలం కాడ వెళ్ళినప్పుడు వ్యవసాయం పనులు చేస్తే పొలంలోనే ఉండిపోవాలనిపిస్తుంది. అంటే మనము చేసే దాంట్లో ఫలితాన్ని ఎక్కువగా వస్తుంది, మనకు సరదా అనిపిస్తుంది అనమాట. మేము కష్టపడిన దానికి బాగా వస్తుంది అన్నట్టు బాగా మాకు ఉత్సాహంగా కలుగుతుంది.
Thank you. So next up, we are lucky to have Mr. Vijay Kumar, who is the Executive Vice Chairman of RYSS, the government organization that is leading the implementation of this largest organic farming program in the world. And it was ex officio Special Chief Secretary to the Andhra Pradesh government. So over to you, Mr. Vijay Kumar. Thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. I'll share my presentation. Is the presentation visible, please? Can you confirm?
Yes, it is, Mr. Vijay Kumar.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Lindsay, and thank you very much to University of Edinburgh and Public
Sorry,
Health
Mr.
Foundation
Vijay Kumar,
of India.
your screen is shared, but the presentation is not live yet.
Oh, has it come now?
Nope, let's give it a couple of seconds. There are a lot of people online. I'm assuming that the connection can be quite slow.
So
you may
Mr.
have to reshare your screen again.
Is that so? Okay, okay. One second. I'm sharing it again. Yeah. Is it on the screen?
Just 1 minute. Let's see.
Or will
There
you
it is.
share it, Lindsay? I've already sent it.
We can
It's
see it.
perfect now.
Huh?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's there.
Okay. There's a lag time.
Okay, so thank you very much. I'll dive straight into the presentation because of paucity of time. I'll focus on scaling up of natural farming, because this is a question that I get asked very often, that the results are great, but how do we scale it up? So first I will tell you where we are. We started in the year 2016 with 40,000 farmers in 700 villages. Last year, 2021 March, we had reached 28% villages and 10% farmers and farm workers. That means from 40,000, about 18 times scaling up has happened. But more important, we have enrolled 10% farmers and farm workers in our state. So that's a very important number, because the scaling up becomes even more easier once you reach the first 10%. And in our program, farmers take 3 to 5 years to transit to completely natural farming. So there is a transition pathway, which is very important. So about 130,000 farmers have transited to completely chemical-free agriculture. The rest are on the way. And we hope to reach 1.1 million farmers and farm workers by March 2022. So we are supported by government and KfW Bank Germany. So we have a fund of $250 million up to 2024 for this program. We also received a grant of $16 million from Azim Premji Philanthropy. Now, the results have been extremely good in several dimensions. One is the cost of cultivation has come down very significantly. The yields have increased under natural farming. You can see here, the yield increase of the 6 major commodities ranges from 1% to 51%. Cost has decreased from 4% to 43%, whereas net income ranges from 60% to 700%. It's an exceptional case in Ragi. So this is from socio-economic impact assessment, it's very, very positive. This is the second season, just complete. So we have we have done this for 6 seasons, very large samples. This has been done a randomized sampling and by independent agencies. But apart from this, farmers report better health. This is a case where yields doubled and net incomes also doubled. This is from the tribal area for finger millet. But in addition to this, farmers have reported better health, better soil health. And this is very important. These farmers are able to save energy. And for our 4 major crops, the savings range from 45% to 53%. So paddy crop actually which is a water guzzling crop. So natural farming was able to save water requirement by around 48%. So this is very important for a water stressed country, that this farming enables water saving. And this is very important in the context of the work that we are doing with University of Edinburgh, looking at the health impacts of the natural farming initiative. This is a special initiative for the landless poor farm workers. It is through homestead garden, and easily 12 to 18 kinds of vegetables and fruits are available in their homesteads. And there is improved biodiversity, resilience, resilience to floods, resilience to droughts. So this is something which
I think that we have lost Mr. Vijay Kumar.
no, I've come back,
here you are.
Lindsay. Can you see? Yeah,
Yes.
I'm back. Yeah, I was mentioning tremendous resilience power to floods and to droughts. Now I'll just focus the next part of my presentation on how scaling up